What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. I go by the name of Myron of James Media, and today we're going to talk about 5 ways to make your video more cinematic. Okay, now the first step we're going to talk about is your camera settings. You should always make sure you're using the 180-degree shutter rule, which is if you're shooting at 24 seconds, your shutter speed should be 48. If you're shooting at 60 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 120. The next thing you always want to make sure you do is shoot at the lowest ISO possible. I shoot with the Fuji X-T3 and my base ISO is actually 160. You should always shoot at an aperture, I would say 2.8 or lower. Now you have some cases where you can actually get great cinematic images with an f4 lens or more, but if you want like a nice shadow depth of field, you should always use 2.8 or lower. Me personally, I shoot with 1.4. The next thing you should do is always use your manual settings. Do not let your camera control your settings for you. By doing that, you will not have control of the image you're trying to capture. So the next way to get a cinematic image is your lighting. Now me personally, I use a Kodak XL-W60, which is my key light. I have a Wii light behind me for my hair light. Now I have another Wii light which is making my wall blue. Now this is only for when I'm inside. If I'm outside, I'm aiming to record at golden hour because I like the colors that a sunset or a sunrise would give you. And I prefer to record any footage around that time. But then I got my lamp back here as a practical light, which just give your background a little bit more characteristic. So the third thing that will make your footage more cinematic are filters. I only use an ND filter when I'm outside. I don't use one when I'm inside because I don't need it. But when I'm outside, I use them because they're sunglasses for my lens. They minimize the light that hits your sensor, which help you keep that 180-degree shutter rule when you're shooting outside. So the next filter I'm using is a soft filter. I'm using a Tiffany Black Pro Mist filter. Pretty much what it's doing is just blooming my highlights. It's making my highlights softer and making the roll off a lot better. It's also helped with smoothing your skin as well, so everything don't be as harsh. And you can actually combine these filters when you're outside as well. So the fourth thing we're going to talk about is your audio. So if you're doing something like cinematic B-roll, you always want to make sure that your music matches the mood you're shooting for. Will also help as well if you add sound effects. So let's say you're out there by a river. It will help your video if you actually add that sound effect of a river running. If you're in the city, it will actually help that you add sound effects of that city or a city just like it or whatever. You know, these will actually help make your film come more to life. Okay, so the last thing that will help your footage look more cinematic is your color grade. Just like with your music, you should always color grade to the mood that you're aiming for. What this does is, this actually help get your message across better to your audience. So if you have a scene that you're trying to portray as more moody or sad, then your color grade should match that. If you're trying to portray a scene that's happy, your color grade should match that. Using all these things in conjunction will actually help you get a great looking image and actually help your image look more cinematic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually wanted to keep it fairly quick. Now if you do all these things in conjunction, like I said, you will have a great cinematic looking image. You can't make a cinematic image just off one thing. Everything has to come together like a basketball team or a football team or a baseball team. It's a team effort. So what I want you guys to do is smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. Hope you have a good day. Peace.